Welcome back to the best division in football with your boys Awthentik and The Beard, man. You know what it is, man. The best television show not on TV, man. We got a lot to go over today in a little bit of games. We got two major NFC East matchups, man. The Philadelphia Eagles are heading to Washington to take on those Commanders. And the Dallas Cowboys are going to be heading up to MetLife to take on them Giants that are going to be in all white on Monday night in those color rush uniforms. And we know we haven't had great history in those color rush uniforms. We also got the Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns tonight for Thursday Night Football. I'm going to definitely be keeping my eyes on that one. I got a couple of players in my fantasy matchup that are going to be in that game. One in particular that I had on my bench last week, Deontay Johnson. But we definitely got to get into these NFC East games. We got about a good hour and a half to knock this out. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the best co-host in the country, my brother, your brother, the strong side to my left side, my man, The Beard, one time in the building.
What's going on, my good friend? How are you doing today, sir?
I'm living all right, man. You know, just rounding out the month, finishing up some client work, man. You know, making it do what it do. My girl's down in Miami, doing some bachelorette festivities and whatnot. So got the crib to myself, me and the cat gang. You know what I'm saying? But all is well over here, man. How about on your side?
Man, I just been, I've been practicing the banter with the Beard show on Twitter with the Commander fans, and it's interesting to hear.
Not going that well so far.
It's interesting to hear so many different people's perspectives. Like, you look at it and you're just like, that sounds crazy to me. Like, there are people out there that are just like, we would be 2-0 right now if Taylor Heineke. And I'm just like,
and you know what the tank says, man. 1-3.
1-3. But listen, I mean, this is the first big weekend. I mean, obviously the first game of the season is huge, but this is like the first big weekend for NFC East because all four teams are playing each other. So this is super
first
important.
Any NFC East matchups, right? We haven't had any yet.
Yeah, this is the first one. So like, I mean, things can really like. It's interesting because you're only 3 games in or whatever, but things can drastically change throughout the division on this matchup in this first day, because, this first game. Because, like, let's say, for example, Washington wins, okay, and the Cowboys win.
Oh, everyone gets a lot closer.
Everybody's 2-1.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then if the Eagles win and the Cowboys win, then it's like, it's a little bit crazier. And then, like, if the Giants win and Washington wins, yeah, I mean, we might break records here on Giants overreactions and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's a very interesting weekend, and obviously, we're both kind of facing like an uphill battle in a way because we're the two teams that kind of been counted out going into this season.
They expected us to be at the bottom of the division.
Exactly.
For sure.
So it's a very important game for both teams, for both fan bases. And I mean, obviously this is the first time Carson Wentz has faced the Philadelphia Eagles since he's been traded. So that's another,
great
little interesting line to think about. And obviously there's a bunch of stuff going on in the news with the Giants and their players and injuries throughout both teams. And it's just like, there's a lot going on early on in this season.
It's kind of wild because
excited.
The only thing that feels different for the Giants, right, is the record. It really feels a lot like last year. We're dealing with a ton of injuries. We got Tibbs and we got Azeez Ojulari, who have been injured for the beginning of this season for the first 2 games. And just when they're about to get healthy and get back on the field, you lose Leonard Williams to the exact same injury that Tibbs is dealing with. So we're looking at probably like 4 to 6 weeks or something like that for Leonard Williams before he gets back in the lineup. I mean, I don't want to let the cat out the bag with all the injuries, but we know Kadarius Toney's back on that injury report as well. We got all the drama with Kenny Galladay, which I told the Beard off air I'm working on a video for that's going to come out here real soon. I want to, take a good like 15, 20 minutes and just talk about just that topic. But it really feels a lot like last season, man. The offense is still struggling to put up points on the board the way we did last season. And, I think this is a really pivotal week for the Giants. It's 1,000% a pivotal week for the Washington Commanders because this is going to get y'all back in that race again.
Yeah, so I'm just looking forward. I just don't want to see the worst. Because, the the worst can definitely happen here in Washington. So I definitely don't want to see the worst. Tonight's game is going to be interesting. I feel like it's a completely different game than all the other Thursday night games so far
slower
this year.
pace for sure.
Definitely could be like a 9-6 game, but it is
You're right.
a divisional matchup. So those are always a little bit interesting. And then, I'm gearing up for another fantasy football week. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we are live Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the parlay. We go over all of the fantasy football advice you could possibly need, as well as Rapid Fire, the newest addition to the parlay show, where we pick every single game in a rapid fire pace. It's tons of fun. Hopefully you guys can come by and check us out. Let's go ahead and say some shout outs to the people in the chat and get right into these games afterwards. Appreciate everybody who's watching us right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you guys haven't already. Help this stream get out to the YouTube universe. Big shout out to Diehard Giants fan. Says, what's up, fam? What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Building was good, bro.
Old man Rob is in the building.
Yes, sir.
Says, what's good, my dudes? Good to see you, Rob. Hope all is well. The one and only Marjorie is in the building. What is going on, Marjorie? Thanks for stopping by. Saying what's up. Sebastian, the best show not on TV.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
my guy,
you as always. And somebody has to help Coach Taylor find his mom's phone, please.
Oh, that's a problem. Maybe it's an iPhone. Maybe it's an iPhone. They got to find my iPhone app, log into Apple into your iCloud, tell you right where your phone is at right there. You be like, man, that joint was in my pocket the whole time.
Big shout out to Ben Dawson. Says, what's good, peeps? Good to see you, Ben. Thanks for stopping by.
I'll tell you what, Ben is a new face here. I talked to him on Twitter, I believe it was. And him and Antonio from Breaking Tackles, they were having a conversation. I told him I spoke on that on the podcast, sent him the link. He gave us some great words on that, man. So salute to Ben. Welcome to the family, man. He was very impressed by the objective stances on Daniel Jones, not picking one side or the other and really just calling it how it is. So welcome to the fam, brother. Appreciate you pulling up.
Appreciate you stopping by. As always, Mr. Edward Squires, the best GQ name on YouTube. Appreciate you stopping by. Lucas, checking in from Australia. Over the years, no, we did not do a live sale this Monday. We took Monday off. But I appreciate you, as always, Lucas, checking in on the fam. Sebastian is in the building. Says, is the gorgeous instrumental on NMNL? What is NMNL?
Nothing more, nothing less. It's not. If he's talking about this one in particular, it's not. This is something new I had in the cut. I'm kind of working on something with this too.
Big shout out to COD001.
Yes,
one of our resident Cowboy fans said, what's up, family? I shouted you both out yesterday on Skywalker's channel.
Ooh, I'm glad
I saw you in the chat today,
bro.
too, Awthentik. Hope you guys are able to link up with the young Jedi.
Hey, Kai, man, thank you so much for that. I was telling the Beard about that, man. Sky had hit me up on Twitter and told me, hey, man, I just wanted to give you your flowers. There was a caller this morning that was definitely bigging you up, showing a lot of love. And I went back and I listened to the segment. I'm like, I can't recognize the voice because I don't know most of the chat people's voice. I'm like, I got to know who that is. I appreciate you letting us know and also letting the world know about Awthentik and The Beard, Kai. That's love right there, man. I appreciate that.
Much, much, much love. Thank you, my good friend, SSK Promo, who I am playing this week in fantasy football in my reseller fantasy football league. Big shout out to Ken. Appreciate you stopping by, brother. Sank Zappa is in the building.
Stash gang in the building. What's going on, bro?
Stan is in the building. Sac Passe OGs. Yo, yes, sir. And then I see Julissa is in the building. Good to see you, Julissa.
What's going on, Julissa? I hope all is well over there. Tell the boys I said what's up.
Max Webster talking that 3-0.
He was talking about also going 2 for 3 on the trivia. He trying to win that trivia tonight. Hope y'all saw the Twitter post. It's a beautiful, beautiful Eli Manning card. If you're a Giants fan, if you're a Commanders fan, we got also got a dope Logan Thomas. Was that a Logan Thomas rookie?
Logan Thomas rookie card autograph.
Yeah, so stick around for that. We're going to be doing the trivia right after we do the preview for the Giants-Cowboys game. So stick around for that. Somebody's going to win that card tonight for sure. Got a great trivia question, too.
We got some good folks coming up here in the chat. Unpopular Opinion Sports is in the building. Says, what's good, fellas?
Yes,
then we got a good Commanders fan in the building. Kevin, the PRF, has the team put out a mental health status update on our defense, or is it still listed as doubtful? I think it's out. Let's just say it's
already
out.
Huh? Not even questionable.
Chris Peace is back in the building. Good to see you back rocking with us again. And we got some Philly love in the building. Shout out to the Philly Eagles fans. Or Philly Eagles fan. Says, let's go. 3-0 coming. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Hey,
and then I got to give
repping that squad.
I got to give a big shout out to the fellas over at Ref the District. I was telling Awthentik earlier today, your guys' live was popping last night. I came on there and told you guys that the Eagles were going to win 61-28, I think it was. But if you guys haven't checked out Ref the District, one of the best content creating channels for football and for all sports in general.
Facts.
Three
good dudes,
great
good vibes
dudes.
too,
Yeah. So definitely make sure you guys check them out. And big shout out to James Jones rounding us out. We appreciate each and every one of you in the chat. Tonight is going to be a jam-packed show.
Yeah, this going to be a good one, The Beard. I'm hyped for this one, man. First NFC East matchups, we get them right at the same time. Both teams get to focus on these two games the way I really want to focus on these games. I ain't got to rush through my Giants preview to get to talking about them Cowboys, which we already know. The Cowboys over here. Shout out my homie Kai one time, though, man. Y'all know what it is. We're going to start today's show off with the Eagles at Commanders, man. This is going to be a fantastic matchup. Definitely looking forward to chopping it up. Got a bunch of nuggets for y'all. I know the Beard's got the roadmaps ready.
They got the spiral ready.
You're not sounding too confident in the GPS right now. I think you got some MapQuest directions you wrote down on a piece of paper. We're going to see how we get there. We're going to talk about that. All right, the 2-0 Eagles are going to be heading here to FedEx Field to take on the 1-1 Commanders. Last week, the Eagles took care of business against them Vikings, man, 24-7. They took care of business in the first half. 0 points scored in the second half of that game. The Commanders ended up losing a tough one, man, where they got down real heavy, 22-0 at halftime. They ended up coming back in that game, ended up losing it 36-27. Just incredible performance from Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. The running back duo with the Detroit Lions. They did their thing in that game. Last meeting between these two teams, the Eagles beat Washington 20-16. What's crazy is it was this year, because it was last season, one of the last games of the year, January 2nd, 2022. The Eagles have the #1 offense in the NFL right now. They have won 4 of the past 5 games against Washington. The Beard said they're going to put up 60 on y'all head one time. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let me know what this roadmap is looking like and what you think is going to be the key to success for your Washington Commanders.
Well, before I talk about the Commanders, I have to give a big shout out to somebody who's down for the cause of slapping stinky birds. Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says massive salutes, Awthentik and Tim, and for all diehard Giants in America, slap all stinky boys. Lose us all day and F the cowards next Monday. High five, Italy.
Facts. High five, Italy. My man Tudo in the building, bro. We appreciate Tudo, man. You legendary, bro. It's almost automatic at this point, bro. We appreciate all the support you've been showing the channel, man. And
absolutely.
I'm hoping them Commanders smack them stinky boys as well too. We gonna see how it go down.
Me too, man. Me too. And you know what? It's funny because you talked about it right off the bat. The Philadelphia Eagles have the #1 offense in the National Football League. And then I got on my notes, the Washington Commanders have the #6 offense.
That's not too bad. You
in the National Football League.
I like it.
So, I mean, listen, there's a big difference, obviously, in this Washington Commanders offense. And I'm not worried necessarily about the offense. There are some things I want to talk about with the offense that are super important in as far as, nuggets and roadmaps go. Yeah. Because, the first half of the offense in that Detroit game was non-existent. But I mean, obviously, the big thing here is going to be that number one Philadelphia offense against the Washington defense. Philly not only is the number one offense, they are the number two offense when it comes to rushing. And Washington's defense is 20th in the league against the run. So that is already like a problem. Now, it's not even just like the amount of yards, like they're just, that easy way of being like, oh, Washington gives up too many yards. And, it's the yards per attempt that is the scariest number of all the defensive numbers that the Washington Commanders have right now.
Let's see where this is.
Do you want to know how many yards they're giving up per an attempt?
I'm going to take the over on 7.
And you would be correct, my friend. They are giving up 7.5 yards per a carry.
Oof.
7.5 yards per carry. I mean, if you run the ball on first down and you get 7 yards, you're already winning your second and 3.
What's so interesting about that stat is like the first 2 weeks here with Jacksonville and with Detroit, it almost seemed like they didn't try to exploit the run against y'all that much. The carries were, it was generous a little bit, but it wasn't extreme or anything like that. And I'm surprised with that kind of a number. You're right. With an average of 7, I mean, you could just back to back, go 3 runs in a row until you stop it. Not enough teams are doing that these days either. I think teams are just like, well, we need balance early on. But with numbers like that, I would just try to run the rock all day.
And I mean, think about it like this. The Philadelphia Eagles, we've seen it at times last year and a few little bit so far this year. I mean, Miles Sanders is off to one of his best starts of his career.
Looking great.
Then you got Boston Scott. Boston Scott is an NFC East killer.
Say that Boston Scott one time.
Boston Scott. If Boston Scott is playing the Giants, the Eagles, or the Cowboys, you can guarantee he's going to score a touchdown.
Or Commanders or Cowboys. Yeah, I do.
Who did I say?
You said the Eagles.
Yeah. Okay. The Commanders. I mean, shoot, at this point, if Boston Scott played the Eagles, he'd score a touchdown. But, and then, don't forget about Kenneth Gainwell. He's been, coming out the backfield. He scored a touchdown, I believe, in week 1.
He did. All 3 of their running backs already have a touchdown. And Gainwell's the surprise. He's, I thought he was going to come out. People were talking about he might be the lead back this year. You were hearing a lot of that in mini camp and things like that. And he hasn't been getting the carries, but he does have a touchdown along with Boston Scott and Miles Sanders. Each of them have a touchdown already.
Yeah, so Washington giving up 7.5 yards per attempt. Of course, Philly, they're 5th best in yards per attempt already. They're averaging 5.2 yards per an attempt, which is 5th best in the National Football League right now. So, I mean, right off the gate, the numbers are just not going Washington's way when you're looking at these numbers on paper. Now, there is some positives here, obviously. Washington is 3rd best on third downs this year offensively, which is completely different than, the last year and years past where Washington has struggled offensively to convert third downs.
Small sample size, very small sample size so far.
But, for me, like that's why early on in the season I look at – these sort of stats where it's like per an attempt and, like in third downs, because those are things that happen throughout an entire game, Right. So like there's a lot of, it's easier to kind of grasp on those numbers because you're having third downs throughout an entire game for 2 games now. So there's, obviously it's still, like you said, early 2 games in, but those sort of stats are a nice sample size for small overall sample sizes.
Yeah.
Because they've had a lot of third downs. Now, the Eagles are 6th worst in the National Football League on defending third downs.
Defending third down, okay.
So Washington, 3rd best at converting third downs. Philadelphia, 6th worst at defending third downs. But you want to know what's really interesting? The Eagles are 3rd in the National Football League with the 3rd most forced 3-and-outs. So they've forced 10 3-and-outs in 2 games.
I had that nugget on here. I like that.
So it's like it's interesting how you can be 6th worst in third down defense, but you're 3rd best in forcing 3-and-outs.
3-and-out. Mm-hmm.
So it's a very interesting.
Again, a little bit early because I wonder. When I saw that stat, I wrote it down on my notes as well too. I didn't look into how many times that happened for them. How many times have they forced a 3-and-out? That's what I was curious about. 10 of them. So that is a good chunk. That's a good chunk.
Yeah, in 2 games.
Yeah, that's a good chunk. 5 a game, 5 3-and-outs a game. That's solid.
Yeah,
defense
very,
definitely
very
showing
good.
up.
And then obviously there's a few matchups defensively for Philadelphia, because we talked about this on Tuesday about how what Philly did in their second game is they really improved on everything that they were bad on in their first game.
Yeah.
You know, Jalen Hurts completion percentage, getting Devonta Smith the ball, defense, making plays and forcing turnovers. It was like night and day. Everything that they needed to improve on from that week into the next week, they did, which is obviously what you're going to have to see here from the Washington Commanders if they want to have a chance at winning this football game. Now, the matchups that you're going to be looking at for Washington's offense versus Philadelphia's defense is going to be Avonte Maddox, who's going to be guarding, more than likely, he's going to be on Curtis Samuel.
He's also banged up this
questionable.
week, too.
He is questionable with the back injury, so that's something to keep your eye out on. Now, say he's healthy, and then you have Darius Slay on Terry McLaurin. And another one that you got to keep your eye out on injury-wise is going to be Hassan Reddick is questionable also with a knee injury.
I did
But
that.
if you have Darius Slay on Terry McLaurin and Avonte Maddox on Curtis Samuel, who's that leave open for a big game possibility?
I mean, Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson and
But
Logan Thomas.
I don't see them following. You know what I'm saying? Samuel has been doing a little bit of work out of the slot. Remember the play I brought some attention to last week where they line him up as the outside wide receiver, but they motion him back in. They've been motioning him back into the backfield. They're using Samuel to his maximum capability this year, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, which is what we definitely were looking to see last year.
Yeah.
And you know, it's crazy to think about. Apparently they're going to be giving out, if anybody is watching or rewatches this, you know, after we're finished before Sunday, and you go to the game and you want to send the beard, I heard they're passing out these I forget what it said on a towel, but it's like the District of Speed, and it's got like the DC, like, you know, outline, and then it's got Samuel, Dotson, and McLaurin on the towel, and it says District of Speed. So if somebody gets their hands on one of them towels, you know, send one to the beard. Back in the day when I used to go to games with my pops, we would make sure we came home with multiples of anything that was given away in the stadium.
I remember I got about like 10 Wizards t-shirts up here because like every time we went to a game, I was like, oh, God, give me one of those. I'm catching them from the, you know, when they shoot them out the cannon and all that. I'm trying to catch them and all that.
I remember one time we took the Metro home from RFK, and we had, my pops literally had us dragging a giant like 16 by 16 box of posters that were left over at the front gate. And we're literally on the Metro with a giant brown box of posters. It was crazy. But yeah, so those are kind of all for the cause. Those are some of the matchups I'm kind of keeping my eye out on offensively. But as far as the roadmaps, we got some roadmaps here. You know, this
roadmap.
These are the things that have to happen or not happen in order for the Washington Commanders to not lose 61-28. Okay. So the first thing, the spiral notebook of maps. This is like, you know, I feel like Nicolas Cage in National Treasures. You know, that's like kind of like what this spiral notebook is.
Underrated movie right there, dog. That's one of my girl's favorite movies, yo. That's an underrated flick.
It's a good one. It's a good one, man. So listen, you're gonna have to protect Carson Wentz. We saw what happened when you don't protect Carson Wentz. Okay.
Yeah.
He looked really bad. And listen, at first I kind of gave Carson Wentz the pass 100%. I'm going to give him the pass about 80%, 85%, maybe 90%, okay?
Yeah.
Because there are some instances where he does hold on to the ball a little bit long.
Yeah.
You know, but
I think that goes for almost any quarterback.
And I was just about ready to say that. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this league, I think. You know, there's Aaron Rodgers, there's Tom Brady. There's those guys that it's just like, it's, you know, ting, 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 ting.
Yeah.
But I mean, even like a lot of these newer age quarterbacks because they're so used to being able to make plays like outside of the pocket, and they're relying on their natural athleticism. You know what I'm saying? Like a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, you know, so it's going to happen. Okay. But you know, last week, Carson Wentz was pressured on 39.6% of the dropbacks.
Not too bad. It's about half the number Daniel Jones was at.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, but I don't want, if we're at that Daniel Jones number, I don't want to know what that's like.
38 sound like you doing all right. Daniel Jones number one in the league right now with 68% first week. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, so let's not get to that point, okay? I mean, we did lose Chase Rouillet. So Schweitzer's going to be the new center. So we got a little bit of rotation now going on the offensive line.
Because Schweitzer was held out.
He was out
the
week before.
Hammy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So he's back, and he will be starting at center now.
Cam Curl.
Cam Curl's back. Oh, that's going to be a huge one. We're going to have to keep our eyes on Cam Curl. I mean, that entire defense, there's no question about it that they are under the microscope this week, more so than any other week. And you do not want to go out there. You do not want to go out there and have a repeat performance or anywhere close to a repeat performance that you did against Detroit. You just cannot do it. Cannot do it at all. Now, we have to be able to run the ball effectively and early, okay? I'm not necessarily saying, I don't have my run the damn ball hat on today, even though I do got my Rigos Rangers. Shout out John Riggins. You know what I'm saying? But, what you got to do is if Washington has the weapons and the capability and ability, like that, right? Capability and ability to spread out the defense. Mm-hmm. I think if you can spread out the defense, it allows Antonio Gibson a little bit more room. And that's what Antonio Gibson needs sometimes. He needs a little bit of room. I'm not one of these guys that say he can't run in between the tackles because, listen, I'm an Antonio Gibson believer, okay?
Yep.
And so I think if you guys can kind of spread things out, get Antonio Gibson the ball early and effectively. Now, when I say early and effectively, if you run the ball and then he gets 2 yards and then you don't run the ball again for another 10 plays, that's not – it doesn't work like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's kind of like what I was saying with Saquon Barkley in this Week 2 game against the Panthers. Commit to it, for one. But also, if it's not completely working the way that you want it to be, where everything's opening up, Gibson is known to have 100-yard games here and there for sure. If it's not that kind of game and it ends up being 20 carries for 75, 80, 85 yards, commit to it. Use it as a piece for Carson Wentz, more importantly. Last year, I talked about this a whole lot with Taylor Heineke. I was like, he's the kind of quarterback that when the running game is clicking, the Washington football team at that time, they had a great chance to win the game. Now you bring in a guy like Carson Wentz, he ups the ante, but that running game needs to be, the floor of that running game can't be, 12 for 24 last week or 14 for 20. It can't be that. Yeah. It's got to be higher than that. You got to get at least 60, 70 yards on the ground because then Carson Wentz can utilize his arm and keep the defenses off balance.
And Philly's giving up good yards on the ground. They're allowing 128.5 yards per game on the ground.
Let me think. Who they first 2 matchups? So you had Minnesota week 2, and then you had Detroit week 1. Now Detroit could be the reason why both y'all defenses look kind of crazy against the run because Detroit killing people. The way they keeping people off balance with their running backs being able to pass catch out of the backfield and do damage. People are saying now that Swift could be the best running back in the NFL.
I mean, we've been talking Swift. We've been talking Swift for a long time.
I got to give you props on that because Swift came across my radar. I remember we talked about him early on last year, and then he dropped that major touchdown. It's almost a different player now. You remember he dropped that touchdown early on last year?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, because he's entering his third now, right?
Third year, yep.
Right, I remember that. That's when he first got on my radar, and you was telling me about him. This kid could be something, and now, I mean, he's looking like a top 5 back right now. He's doing it all.
He does it all, and he's fast. He's shifty, and he's still got a little power, too. Yeah.
The touchdown against
when
you guys
where
oh, my God, he caught the ball. I was talking to Mike Swan about this, right? It's not the athleticism to get back up and make it happen, right? It's almost like he has a photographic memory where when he was slipping to the ground, he saw the diagram of where everybody was at. So that by the time he caught the ball, used his athleticism to get back up, there was no hesitation. He literally just went straight for that end zone, made a cut, and he was out of here. Now, a lot of players can athletically make that play, but to have that mental and the physical clicking together like that to get up that fast, most guys are going to, just fall on the ground and hope they don't get punished. If you get up like that, dog, you could take a major hit if you don't know where the defenders are at and where they're coming from, but he knew.
And it's not like he just got up and just, got a couple extra yards. He literally got up and ran across the field to the end zone. It was crazy.
It was a great play. And I didn't see a lot of people talking about that play. That was a great play.
It got talked about.
I watch my national sports media, bro. I didn't see them. None of them mention that play. That was one of them plays, man.
I wonder how long it's going to take before they come around on the Eagles and the Lions, and then the Lions start kind of getting a little bit more love. I mean, I guess we'll see. I forget
week
who they
5,
play this
week 6, man. If they could keep this pace up, man, by week 5, week 6, people going to be talking about them as a sleeper for sure.
especially in that division.
Yeah.
We also got another addition to the roadmap here from Tuto. The $4.99 super chat says Awthentic. Key for Commanders to slap stinky losers is D-line, quarterback, pressure, and collapse pocket all day. Julie Hurts won't be doing jumping jacks no more.
Hurts.
High five, Italy.
High five, Italy, dog.
And
Man,
some other good news
vibes.
from $4.99 super chat says Awthentic. I've been cleared back to
Tuto's
squads
got the damn bag,
by
bro.
team physicians yesterday, and I'm good to go for our match against his older brother's team on Sunday. High five, Italy.
Yeah, big high fives to Italy, man. I know Tuto about to take care of business getting back on that field, bro. We definitely appreciate that, fam. Now, Tuto getting that bag over there in Italy, bro. I don't know what the conversion rate is, but Tuto's getting that bag. Like, I don't know what's going on.
So he brought up some good
Tuto?
points here. Yeah, Tuto brought up some good points.
Yeah.
As far as that, the pressure and things of that. So let's talk about some third down defense. Okay, Washington's defense, is this something that Washington has actually done pretty well in defensively? We have the fourth best third down defense in the National Football League.
I could say this for every stat you bring up. Like, I mean, it's kind of early and there's a small sample size.
But listen. We gotta, that's why I said these are large samples, small samples. Okay, this is like when you go into Costco and you get like a half an empanada. It's not like you're getting the little cheese square. You're getting a half empanada sample at the Costco. That's where the third downs and stuff like that are, because you've had about 50 or 60 of them in two games. It's not like we're averaging per game when you've only played two games. That's it's a little bit different. So I'm trying to give you the half empanada
Break the terminology
samples.
for me again. It's a
half empanada sample.
No, I'm sorry, not the comparison to the empanada, but what's the phrase we're using here? It's a small sample size of the.
It's a large sample of the small sample size.
It's a large sample of the small sample size. All right, I got you. Let me get my spiral notebook together over here.
Yeah. It's like getting a 500-hour AOL CD in the mail and not like a 1-hour AOL CD in the mail.
Okay. So we getting into our AOL hours bag early.
There we go. Early. All right. Now, Philadelphia, though, has the second best third down offense. So it's like, the Commanders are coming with the fire, but then it's like the Eagles got the water. So it's like where there has to be a break here and somewhere for Washington to find a way to win this game. Okay. And it's going to have to be, they got to eliminate the big play. We talked about this on Tuesday. How many plays of 20 yards or more did Washington allow versus Detroit? 8. 8 plays of 20 yards or more to Detroit last week. Okay. And of course, here comes Philadelphia with the water to the fire. Okay. You know it. You got this nugget, don't you?
I remember reading this nugget somewhere. I didn't put it down, but I remember reading this nugget somewhere about explosive plays.
Number 1 in the league in explosive plays. But see, now let's just be honest. The definition of the league's explosive plays are not the same as the definition of the Beard's explosive plays. And I think Awthentic and the Beard.
4 yards short.
We're on the 20. We're on the 20. You got to be 20 at least for the explosive.
They consider explosive runs 10 yards or more.
Yes, and a pass 16 yards or more, okay? Philly's number 1 in the league with most explosive plays with 28, okay? So you can't allow that to happen, all right? Now, as far as what Tudo was saying about getting to Jalen Hurts, we got to get to Jalen Hurts.
Now, hold on. Before we get to the Jalen Hurts, I want to ask him about the explosive plays, a little bit more details on this. Now, for you, is it you trying to limit the explosive plays by definition of the league, or are you talking about the big plays like the one that we saw to Quez Watkins for 40 plus? Are you talking about those kind of big plays?
I mean, I'm bundling them all up together.
Yeah,
it's like the insurance commercials where you can bundle your home and your auto and your boat insurance all together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like that. I'm bundling it all together because I'm looking at it as anything over 20 yards. Okay, anything over 20 yards, whether it's 21 yards or it's 46 yards. Mm-hmm. Because it's like you do all of the work, when it comes to stopping players, stopping teams on third down, and you've improved at that. But then it's like it defeats the purpose of improving on that if you're going to give up a 40+ yard play,
Facts.
for a touchdown. It completely eliminates all the hard work that you've done on third down. So that's why I think eliminating those big plays is super important.
Yep.
Rep the District says Washington is number 1 in the league in 20+ yard explosive plays.
Oh, that's a good stat. So only the Philadelphia Eagles are only number 1 when you consider the runs at 10 and the passes at 16, but 20 and over Washington is. It don't seem like it. Really don't seem like it, right? Like y'all, it doesn't seem like y'all have had a ton of explosive plays. The big throw to Antonio Gibson on the sideline in week 1, I remember that one. The big throw to Terry McLaurin. Yup. I'm just trying to think of the other big ones.
He's had a couple with Logan
20.
Thomas, I think.
Yeah, Logan Thomas had some. Oh, the screenplay went for over 20, I think, too.
Yeah.
To
the
I
Curtis
forget
Samuel
homie's name. Nah, the backup tight end.
Bates.
Was it Bates? No, he had a name that sounded like
Amari Rodgers.
Amari Rodgers. Yeah, that one might have went for 22.
Yeah, so there's some offensively. I'm not really worried. It's defensively, and we're going against Jalen Hurts, who I think we both agree is the guy. He's the guy there,
Definitely.
and I think people are starting to realize that what he did last week was so important for him moving forward, and to do that in prime time was huge. Because, he did something that's never been done before as far as, I forget the exact stat, but I think it was like over 300 yards, over 80% completion percentage, and 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that's
exactly
what it was.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you got to give the flowers when the flowers are deserved. And right now, Jalen Hurts is starting to build a garden. Okay.
Yeah. Let me give you some Hurts numbers before we
get
give
me those Hurts
this,
numbers
right?
before I give you my Hurts roadmap.
Jalen Hurts, I had a conversation with Entertainer yesterday on Twitter that got super buzzing. A bunch of people jumped into this conversation. We're just kind of general talking about quarterbacks, and Entertainer had said something about he's happy if the Philadelphia Eagles sign Jalen Hurts to a long-term deal because that somehow yields well for the New York Giants. And I was like, well, that's not really a good thing because now we got to look forward to Jalen Hurts kicking our ass 2 times a year. He's the kind of quarterback, especially with these kind of weapons, that's going to be able to do that. So I looked into a bunch of Jalen Hurts numbers yesterday, okay? Right now, his 723 yards, passing and rushing combined, is second among anybody in the NFL right now. Surprisingly, Tua was number 1. Mm-hmm. Now, Philadelphia put up over 450 yards in back-to-back games for the first time since 2014. Jalen Hurts leads the NFL in yards per attempt. Of all quarterbacks, he leads the league in yards per attempt. He's 10th in air yards because Tanner tried to throw that one back at me, too. He's like, oh, they throw a lot of bubble screens. You got to look up the air yards. I look at the air yards. He's 10th in the NFL. For New York Giants fans, Daniel Jones is 26th. It goes to show you the difference of how they're getting vertical with the Philadelphia Eagles. So for me, man, the whole game plan got to be to stop Jalen Hurts. It's really all about Jalen Hurts.
It really does come down to stopping Jalen Hurts. And I feel like, Washington has gotten close throughout this season. Like, they haven't had the sacks, okay? But they've gotten close, and they're actually number 1 in quarterback knockdown percentage. So that's how many times does a quarterback get hit when he's throwing the ball. They're number 1 at that at 21.1% of the time when the opposing quarterback is throwing the ball, they're getting hit. Okay, so that's important especially for like a guy like Jalen Hurts. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of turnovers from the quarterback position come from them getting hit when throwing the ball.
Yeah, and pressure.
So it's like, and that's what we need. Is a defense can't stop another team from scoring. The only way to stop the bleeding and to give your offense a chance to one-up them is to force turnovers. It's 100% important. We have to force at least 2 turnovers in this game. Have to force at least 2 turnovers. So, and we're also 7th in quarterback pressures with 22. So you're going to have to get to Jalen Hurts, but at the same time, if you're going to get to Jalen Hurts, you got to be disciplined and contain the edges because otherwise Jalen Hurts is going to fry you all game long.
All day. Read option, RPO, that's their bread and butter. Your defensive ends are going to have their day cut out for them for sure. It's going to be a hard day of work.
So that being said, the roadmap is a little long. And I apologize for the long roadmap.
No,
But,
that's all right. You know I do that with the New York Giants all the time.
The defense,
I look back
the
at last
defense
show,
is
I was
struggling.
like, dude, 50 minutes of me talking about the Giants. Like, good God.
All that being said, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game. 61-28 is my final score prediction.
61-28. And
no, I'm just playing.
Put up 49 on y'all.
But I do think Philadelphia is going to win this game. I would love to pick Washington to win every game, but that's just not who we are. We're here at Awthentik and The Beard, we are optimistically realistic. I do think that the Washington Commanders have a chance to win this game. I mean, I laid out a roadmap. If those things happen, they can win this game. I'm not going to sit here and say Washington has zero chance to win this game. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys watch the NFL previews on YouTube, but at the end of those videos, they show you like 12 analysts.
Picks. Yeah.
Every single person picked the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's how it was for us week 1 against the Titans too. So I mean, you got a chance, man. Those people can always be wrong. I think if you are going to have a chance, your offense got to come out here and definitely do some damage early on. Start with the running game, but then also hopefully that running game opens up some room for Terry McLaurin and the rest of that wide receiver core. Terry McLaurin is probably the best wide receiver that has gone up against the Philadelphia Eagles since he's entered the league. 468 receiving yards against the Eagles since making his debut in 2019. It's the most the Eagles have given up to any player since that time. We know about Jahan Dotson, man. He's one of 2 rookies right now with a touchdown catch in each of the first 2 games of the season. Definitely balling out. I was super high on Jahan Dotson. It's good to see him balling out. And then you got A.J. Brown on the opposite side of the ball. I think y'all definitely going to have to find a way to limit him. That quick slant, you've seen that quick slant on these read option or RPO plays where Jalen Hurts keeps the ball, and by the time he goes to throw that slant to A.J. Brown, every time I've seen it this year is wide open. You don't even see the linebackers there because they're so focused on what's going on in the backfield. Right now, A.J. Brown is 5th in the league with 15 catches. He's got 224 yards in his first 2 games. And you talked about Devonta Smith getting a little bit more active in the game plan last week after he, I want to say he had only 4 targets in the first game. He had 7 receptions in this week 2 matchup against the Vikings.
That was his most catches, right?
Yeah, career high. I was surprised about that. So definitely, man, you got to find a way to stop them. Cole Holcomb, he's also going to earn his money in this game. I saw an interesting stat about him too: 10+ tackles in 5 of his past 6 games dating back to last season. So he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. I don't know if y'all have a chance to stop Jalen Hurts in this offense, but you're right. You're going to have to get a turnover in this game for sure. I like that score right there.
That's my real score is 35-28 Philadelphia.
35-28. Yeah, because y'all have been pretty high scoring for the most part for these first 2 games. And Philadelphia, the same thing. This is going to say a lot about what's going on in the NFC East. Both of y'all faced the Detroit Lions. The Philadelphia Eagles got out to that early lead, kind of coasted to the victory while the Detroit Lions were playing catch-up in garbage time. They kind of got back in that game. But, I think this is going to say a lot. We've seen both y'all go up against the Lions. Both of y'all defenses struggled against the Lions. I think if Washington can run the ball, they got a chance. I really want to pick y'all. I'm going to pick y'all. I'm picking Washington. I'm going to pick Washington for the upset. Yeah. Because it's at home, I think that's going to matter too. And I think, this
Philly
is what
fans
I said
travel
about the,
well.
Facts. You're definitely right about that. It's going to be a lot of green in there. But this reminds me of like what I said about the New York Giants when we took on the Titans. It's really good for your team, especially your defense, when you know the task at hand. You got to stop Jalen Hurts. That's where the whole game plan going to start. If y'all can stop Jalen Hurts, I think you got a chance, man. And also, like you said, get that running game going early. The middle of their defense, man, you got to watch out. Fletcher Cox, he balls out against Fletcher Cox. He balls out against the Washington Commanders. He's had at least a half a sack in 3 consecutive games dating back to last season. Against Washington in 19 career games, if this is correct, he's got 15 sacks in 19 career games. So you definitely got to find a way to limit Fletcher Cox from getting in the backfield and wreaking havoc. I hope injuries don't really play a role in this game, but we'll see, man. I'm going to take Washington. I don't think it's going to be as high of a scoring game as people are going to expect. I'm taking Washington in this one 24-21.
Very, very, very interesting. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys tune back in Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time to see if Awthentik keeps that same
That's
energy.
true. I do get a second opportunity on the parlay, 11 a.m. when we do our fantasy show. Sometimes I might renege and change that pickup real quick. today, I feel like the Commanders are going to be able to win that game. You got to look at the matchup against the Vikings, which is similarly built offensively to Washington, I would say. Maybe upgrades in a few positions. Obviously, at the wide receiver, their number one might be better. Their running back probably better. But y'all have a great offense, I think, over there. And with Carson Wentz over there, things could get clicking. This is a game where you got to go back to the drawing board and get better from last week. I expect the Commanders to come out here and look a little bit better in this one.
Okay, first of all, big shout out to Anthony, Bluegrass Picker, for the $5 super chat. Says, yes. Hiya, fellas. Chiefs.
Did he say yes like that?
I don't know. I don't know why that came out like that. It's just kind of how I read it. And then I got this one had me laughing before I could even read the other way. So it's good to know we have a Washington fan on the panel. Thanks, all day.
Hey, shout out Kevin one time, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Somebody got to show y'all some love, man. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm the front runner of the picks already, as far as picking the wins and losses so far.
Yeah, we'll give you guys an update after this week.
Yeah, we'll give you that update, man. And I don't mind a little competition. I want to see Washington get back in the mix. I ain't scared. All right, so we can put the button on that one and move to my game
on
there.
It. Yep, let's get to it.
I'm looking forward to this one. I might be as long-winded as you were for the Washington Commanders for my New York Giants. We're going to see how this one goes. This is listed wrong on here, too. I was about to say, bro, if I had another typo back-to-back shows, I was going to lose my mind. But we're going to talk about this Cowboys at New York Giants game coming to MetLife. All right, let's run this one down, man. I got a ton of nuggets and a ton of notes. I even recycled some nuggets from last show. I brought them back. I highlighted them in blue, so I know that those are last show's nuggets. We're going to run through this one, man. The Cowboys have won 9 of 10 against the Giants. 9 of the last 10 have been won by the Cowboys. The one that we won was when they had a backup quarterback last game of the year, 2020, I believe that was, when we beat the Cowboys in the 1 o'clock window and had to watch the Philadelphia Eagles tank and watch the Washington football team, or formerly known as the Washington football team, go on to the playoffs and get, kind of handled by them Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady one time. Backup quarterback Cooper Rush is facing an NFC East opponent for the first time in his career. He's 2-0, man. Brian Daboll right out the gates. He is the 4th Giants coach to win his first 2 regular season games. I could have maybe used this second half as the trivia tonight, but I didn't. Dan Reeves is the only Giants coach to start off 3-0 in the history of the New York Giants, and starting that was in 1993. I was a young puppy back then. I was in 5th grade in 1993. Giants offense, let's talk about some good. Daniel Jones is completing 70% of his passes with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception through 2 games. That's about all the good I got right there. I'm gonna keep it funky with you, okay? We need more of those 8-play, 75-yard drives led by Daniel Jones. He had to dart to Richie James, a first down throw to James again across his body, then the 10-yarder to tight end Hudson, then he dumped it off to Daniel Bellinger for a touchdown. I need more of that. Daniel Jones seems to play a little bit better when he's got his back against the wall. I'm hoping in this game we don't got our back against the wall too much. I would love to get out to an early, comfortable lead in this one. Both first halves of the games with the New York Giants in 2022, offense has looked dismal in the first half. We got to get that corrected. 0 points week 1 and only 6 points week 2 against them Carolina Panthers. Now, let's talk about some of this bad. The Giants are 31st in passing yards per game. 159 yards per game. I mean, dog, I'm throwing that thing 45 yards. I might be able to go out there and get you a good 159 yards per game. The Giants' 6.6 yards per pass attempt is 23rd in the NFL. 8.2 yards per completion, that's 30th in the NFL. As far as the passing attack goes for the New York Giants, it's been awful. That's why I say this team is reminding me a lot of the teams from last year and the year before that, except the record is just not matching up. We 2-0 instead of 0-2. Now, Daniel Jones has been sacked 8 times in 2 games. We gonna run through this fire. These some spicy nuggets. I don't know if McDonald's ever brought the spicy nuggets out.
They got some hot and spicy nuggets every once in a while. They need to do a Authentic and The Beard, a hot and spicy nuggets commercial.
Maybe a little Travis Scott kind of collaboration or something. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that authentic bag one time. You know what it is, man. But right now, as far as lowest quarterbacks, and shout out to the homie Stan, he brought this one to my attention last week before the Giant overreaction. Lowest quarterback rating in the NFL through week 2 per ESPN. Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Davis Mills, and Daniel Jones, the 28th worst quarterback rating. Daniel Jones, we know, Monday night, primetime vibes. We talked about Kirk Cousins last Monday night, primetime vibes. Look what happened. Got his butt kicked 24-7 in the first half. Couldn't do nothing. Daniel Jones is the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to start out 0-7 in his primetime matchups. My man is 0-8 now in primetime matchups. If you go to 0-9 in primetime matchups, bro, they might be telling you to pack your bags sooner than you thought, my guy. The Giants have not scored a first-half touchdown in 6 straight games, my guy.
And you're 2-0?
And we're 2-0. 8 of the last 9 games, we have not scored a first-half touchdown. The last time we scored a first-half touchdown, Mike Glennon was playing quarterback, and he threw it to Eli Penny versus the Chargers last year. Now, I talk about a little bit more good, but it's not going to be with Daniel Jones. I'll keep it funky with you. The last thing I'll say on Daniel Jones, he got to come out in this game right out the gate on fire. The pressure is cooking, my guy. We started off the season. You had 17 games to show this regime that you was going to be the quarterback going into next year. We 2-0. You got a little bit of a buffer.
Mm-hmm.
The way you playing is not up to par right now. I'm going to keep it real with you. And a lot of these fans have been calling it out. We saw the play to Kadarius Toney where there's hella space around Kadarius Toney. My man Dan Orlovsky today on NFL Live, he brought this up about Daniel Jones and showed a couple different clips to support this. He said that when people get into his vicinity, not even a threat as far as pass rush, just get into his vicinity, he tends to panic. He showed 2 plays where Daniel Jones was hitting his back foot on the drop, and when he saw somebody kind of step into his vicinity on the outside tackle, he goes to step up, but when he's stepping up, he's not looking down the field, and he's missing wide receivers. You had the one to David Sills, and these aren't even just like off-target throws. He's actually just getting sacked on the play. So the 8 sacks that have happened in 2 games, that's not all on the offensive line. That's for sure. Daniel Jones is stepping up into pressure. There was a goal line situation in the red zone. It was 3rd and goal, and he had David Sills right across the middle on like a little stop route. It's kind of like, I'm not sure what you call this route. We didn't run this route in my day that much, but it's kind of like a quick slant from the slot position where you just settle down, though. You don't kind of keep going horizontal.
Like a zone slant sort of situation.
Yeah, like a slant where you just sit down in the zone. He's wide open. Daniel Jones sees somebody get into his vicinity, and he loses all his concentration on what's going on downfield. I don't know if that's something we can teach, but I think Daniel Jones has played some pretty good football. He's just not playing that great next-level football. You got guys like Joe Flacco throwing 4 touchdowns, coming back against the Browns, and Daniel Jones is just in struggle mode as far as passing yards and touchdowns and yards per attempt go.
He's been sacked 8 times already this year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 8 times, and a lot of it is his fault. People they're still using the offensive line excuse. But Daniel Jones is doing a good job of being mobile and actually getting away from some of this pressure too, because as far as time to throw goes in the NFL, he's number 2 in the NFL right now. Only him and Justin Fields have had over 3 seconds to throw the ball. This was a conversation me and Entertainer had yesterday too, which he was saying, that's not indicative of the offensive line, and I feel you. Some of it is not. But a portion of it just kind of shows the combination of what the mobile quarterback and the offensive line are doing and how much time they're getting for the quarterback. But for me, Daniel Jones got to elevate his play. I need it to go up, like way higher. I need this to skyrocket, bro. I want to start winning games because of your consistency, not winning games because of your 4th and 1 run that's happening at the end of the game. Tyrod Taylor could come in here and do that. Tim Tebow could come in here and do that. If we need somebody who's going to run the ball, I need a quarterback playing quarterback, okay? If it's going to start with your legs, I'm okay with that. I came into the season saying the Giants need to completely ditch the RPO and all the read options. This kid gets hurt every year outside of the pocket. It's his last year, bro. You got to go all out. Do what you do. If y'all need to run RPO to make this kid successful and find ways to open up the throwing lanes down the field, then do so. Now, the good, and this is what I think we need to rely on in this game, to be able to open up the pass, is we got to get that run going. Saquon Barkley right now leads the NFL in rushing, 236 yards, and he's second to Miami's Tyreek Hill in yards from scrimmage as far as all other positions. Richie James, I need him to do what he's been doing. He has been one of the things that have been consistent with this wide receiver core throughout the first 2 games. He leads the Giants in receptions at 10, and he leads the Giants in yards at 110. That don't even sound right, man. 2 games, 110? We talking 55 yards a game. He's averaging 12.4 yards on punt returns too. So Richie James is really being a Swiss Army knife for the New York Giants. I love it. I think he's a guy very out of nowhere. I think
he's
saw
like
a little
Noah
taste from
Brown
minicamp.
on the Cowboys.
out of nowhere. Noah Brown came out of nowhere. That last game that he had last week, I want to say Noah Brown had like, was it 7 or 8 catches, I believe. I have it somewhere in these notes. I remember I had it.
He's leading the Cowboys with 10 catches and 159 yards.
And I think that's a product of defenses knowing what CeeDee Lamb can do and trying to restrict that. The first game, they definitely did a really good job of restricting CeeDee Lamb. Second game, not so much. He had I think he had 6 or 7 catches in that game. But for me, you got to get that ball to Saquon Barkley. Now, we know that the other major matchup is, how are we going to keep Micah Parsons out of Daniel Jones' face? I mean, he's leading the NFL right now with 4 sacks. First player with 17 sacks in his first 18 games, man. This is why when people say, don't compare him to Lawrence Taylor, I'm like, man, go ahead and compare him to Lawrence Taylor.
He's a dog. And you know what? Shout out to the Cowboys, because early on in Micah Parsons' career, it was evident that he wasn't going to be the best in coverage. And they didn't leave him out there to continue doing that sort of stuff. They say, all right, we're going to put his hand in the dirt. We're going to let him at the quarterback. And I wish
choosy when they do it.
Yeah, I wish other teams, like the Washington Commanders would do that with somebody like, I don't know, maybe Jamin Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let these players play the way that they're best played. You know what I'm saying? And so shout out to the Cowboys for noticing that early on, what Micah Parsons was really good at and allowing him to do it. But the Dallas Cowboys, to talk about your rushing really fast, the Dallas Cowboys do have the number 6 overall defense in the league, but their one weak point is their rush defense. This is 19th against the run. So you guys definitely have the opportunity there.
They faced the Minnesota Vikings and then week 1. Tampa Bay. So two
and
Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette is, he's top 5 in rushing yards so far this year. So I feel like you said, that's the point of attack is Saquon Barkley, and I think that kind of opens everything else up, and that'll keep Micah Parsons on his his heel a little bit more if Saquon can run the ball.
If they don't stack the box, because I feel like in the first 2 matchups, you can't really stack the box crazy against Tom Brady, and you really can't stack the box too crazy against the Minnesota Vikings.
Good points.
So for me, it's like, are they going to come out and just completely stack the box here in this matchup? Because if that's the case, they're going to try to force Daniel Jones to beat them. Micah Parsons is he's gonna try to wreak havoc. Evan Neal was quoted earlier today after practice talking about Micah Parsons, and he said he's a great player. At the end of the day, he puts on his pants one leg at a time, just like me. He puts his shoulder pads on one strap at a time, like me. So that go to show you that he's not scared. He talked about Micah Parsons' 4.3 speed as far as the 40 goes, and he said he's a really fast player. It's going to definitely be a task, for him. We'll see how it goes, man. But I think you definitely got to find a way to stop Micah Parsons. And when and if you do, Daniel Jones cannot make that big mistake to a guy like Trayvon Diggs and throw an interception. That's not going to be able to work out for the New York Giants. When we were talking about Noah Brown, he had a career high last week, 91 yards receiving, and his first NFL touchdown against the Bengals there. For me, the takeaways, I'm worried about him. Although the Cowboys coming into this game, they only have 1 takeaway. After leading the NFL last year in takeaways, they had 34 takeaways last year. So you're looking at, a couple a game for sure. That number has drastically gone down. But the Cowboys did hold the Bucs and the Bengals offenses both to just 1 touchdown defensively. Fewest touchdowns allowed through 2 games by the Dallas defense since 1996, bro. So this defense is definitely different vibes.
They're finding a different way to do it. Last year it was about the takeaways. This year they're holding teams, like you said, to that low number of touchdowns. That's a crazy stat. I didn't really realize
Yeah, man.
that.
Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, to hold those offenses to those low numbers, that's definitely a scary thing for me moving forward. Now, the other thing I think that the New York Giants are going to have to do too, especially we know Leonard Williams not going to be here in this game, we got to plug the run. We got to find a way to force them to run the ball outside, although the Cowboys are really good at running zone-style running plays to the outside. That was Zeke's bread and butter for a long time. I'd prefer that. I don't want to see them gashing us up the middle, taking advantage of Leonard Williams not being there. Ezekiel Elliott, we talked about him, taking a bit of a step back, I'd say, on Twitter. Me and you we had a little bit of a conversation on that, and I kind of mentioned, the carries are down. And the carries are down because a guy like Tony Pollard, obviously, he's coming out there trying to find ways to get him involved in the running game and get those explosive plays. It seemed like Tony Pollard had an explosive play at least like every other game last year.
Yeah.
Against the Giants, he's fared pretty well, too. 75 yards on 14 carries, 4 receptions for 28 yards in the last meeting, and he scored his 9th rushing touchdown last weekend as well. So I'm always worried about Zeke, always, especially against the Giants. He's been a killer. He's been a giant killer for sure. But Zeke now, this is a wild stat that I found this morning as well. He hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game since he played the Giants last, which was in October of 2021, where he had 110 yards and a touchdown. You know he looking to come out here and feast. You know, we ain't been seeing this Zeke too much. You know what I mean? You ain't been seeing that guy, Campbell soup vibes and eating all that. You have not been seeing that. So for me, it's like you got to do two things. We have to beat the Dallas Cowboys in the running game. That's number one. We have to have the better running day to win this game. If they come out here and they could run Zeke at will, we probably don't have a chance in this game. And secondary, we have to get some pressure on this backup quarterback, Cooper Rush. We got to make him feel uncomfortable. The one thing I noticed about last week's game, he came out right out the gate, and I said the Vikings. I meant to say the Bengals when I was talking about them. But against the Bengals, first drive from Cooper Rush, he showed you he wasn't scared. He went right down the field. They got that early lead, and then he coasted, I feel like. The Bengals tried to make it a game late. That didn't work out too well. I think that cannot happen in this game. Make sure that they do not score on that first drive. That's the second thing for this Giants defense. And I feel great about the Giants defense because I have faith in the scheme and the philosophy. We have found a way to be able to keep teams to low scoring while having people who are supposed to be on the bench in the game. So we got a little bit more of that. We're getting Aaron Robinson back in the secondary in this game. Who knows? We might have Kayvon Thibodeau back in this game as well. We'll see. I saw a couple of clips at practice. He didn't look like he was 100% to me. And then you got Azeez Ojulari, who's also supposed to be back this week. We could use all the help against the Cowboys. And this is a pivotal game here, man. If the Giants can move to 3-0, that will be amazing. I don't know about the stats as far as playoffs go for 3-0, but for 2-0 is 60%. For 3-0, it's got to jump up. But the one I did see was for 0-3, your percentage drops down to 1%. There's only been one team in NFL history that went 0-3 and made it to the playoffs. So for teams that are going to be trying to fall to 0-3, this reminds me of them Bengals. Better get it together. Titans better get it together. For us, I'm trying to see that 3-0. I'm trying to see the Giants go and try to make a run here. And if things can go a little bit smoother on offense and they get a little bit more accustomed to what's going on as far as this scheme, and the offense start clicking a little bit more with a 3-0 buffer, that will yield extremely well for the New York Giants. And that's the best I could ask for right now with an offense that's looking, pretty pedestrian right now. Come out of this game, even if we win this game sloppy and ugly like we won the first two, I will take it. I will totally
Especially
take it.
A division game.
Yes.
You'll definitely take it.
And the 3-0 would just be a great start for us, man. Just get off on that right start with the offense not playing to their potential, and then try to get these playmakers back involved. This Monday night game is probably, for me, I'm going to have the most keen eye on this wide receiver core. Who is going to be getting the snaps? I told y'all I'm working on the Kenny Galladay video. We're not going to talk about it too much, but it is very important to see what Kenny Galladay does in this game on Monday night, because if you see another repeat performance of two snaps with Kenny Galladay on the field, if I'm a Giants fan, I'm starting to look forward to him probably not being on the team not in the far future, in the near future. Like, I'm talking before trade deadline vibes. Keyshawn Johnson talked about it a little bit this morning. Somebody on the panel was with him, and they were saying, well, Kenny Galladay's the kind of guy that you're not going to be able to find a trade partner for him. And Keyshawn Johnson said, look, man, you can find a way. You restructure the contract, you find a way to get that money down, and you get him out of here for whatever you can get him for. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is with Kenny Galladay. I don't think it's an effort thing. It could be a playbook thing. It could be a scheme fit type of thing. It could be a quarterback thing. I did talk about that too. I'm definitely not ruling out the quarterback thing. I'm glad you reminded me of that. For me, I got to go with the momentum. Brian Dable has been finding a way to win games that the Giants lost last year. This is against a backup quarterback. This is going to pretty much be the New York Giants versus Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. Find a way to stop them. Find a way to contain them. Don't allow the big play from CeeDee Lamb, but I'll take one. I'll take one big play. You saw against the Carolina Panthers, they had the one big play with CMC. It didn't hurt us that bad.
Timing has to be good on the big play. Don't let it come at like a inopportune time.
And that was a scary time for me with CMC because it was
very scary.
6-6, at that point. Yeah. And he gets that big run. That drive, they were just clicking. And then they end up getting in the end zone to DJ Moore. And then you're looking at a game now at 13-6. Carolina Panthers take that lead, and I'm starting to get a little bit worried thinking that we're going to let this one slip away. Don't allow us to get in that same position. Got to find a way to put points on the board early in the first half, man. Come away at halftime with at least a good 13, 14 points. And I think the Giants got a great chance. I'm going with the momentum. I'm picking the Giants, and I'm picking them in a relatively, I'd say, moderate scoring game here. I'm taking the Giants in this one, 20-17.
Ooh, before we get to my score, let's get to Unpopular Opinion Sports. Shout out. Thank you for the $10 super chat. They said, I appreciate you guys and your content. We can run on Dallas, and Dallas doesn't run the ball well. So old school football is what we need to play. I think we win 24-14. I'm New York Giant 22.
Oh, true that. That's what's up, man. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Appreciate that $10 super chat, brother. You don't even know that goes a long way to help support this channel. Keep raising the bar over here, doing what we do, trying to keep this high quality, very informative content out there, man. So definitely appreciate that, fam.
So I'm gonna ride the momentum also. I think that, you know, if the New York Giants can figure a way to play better in the red zone, they're 50% so far in the red zone. It's a small sample size, as Awthentik has like to point out to all of my statistics so far.
1 of 3 last game. And they gave us 2 gimmies last game, man.
Yeah. So if they can figure a way to get better in the red zone in this game, I think that's going to be critical. You know what's really interesting? You know how many plays the Cowboys have run inside the 20-yard line, the opponent's 20-yard line?
No clue.
2. They've only been inside the red zone twice all year long. So I just, you know, I think that
week 2 and then week 1 they didn't even score a touchdown. Yeah. They put up 3. Yup.
So they've only been in the red zone twice. I really like the Giants in this game. I think that this is the game where Cooper Kupp gets exposed. I think the Giants defense has been playing really. What did I say? Cooper Kupp, Cooper Rush.
Everybody on national media was making that mistake. Yo, RG3 made that mistake this morning, or like yesterday morning actually.
So I think Cooper Rush gets exposed this game. I think the Giants defense deserves more credit than what they're getting right now as far as the way that they're playing. I think you'll see that in this game. I actually have the Giants winning this game by a final score of 20-10.
20-10. So both of us got the Giants getting 20. 2 things I want to mention. Don't forget Cooper Rush was on the Giants roster, so that yields well for the Giants, but also kind of yields well for the Cowboys. They know a little bit about what's going on. And secondly, the Cowboys are going to get Michael Gallup back in this game.
Is that 100% confirmed?
I thought it was. They said he's on a pitch count. Shout out to the homie. William Steele, he was talking about it on his show this morning. They said they're going to keep him on a pinch count. You cannot let him get a big play. Don't let him come in for like 15 snaps and then get 1 catch for like 50 yards.
Yeah, and that's that big play you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the big play. So I want to mention him in case he's going to be out there on the field. And, you know, don't sleep on these other wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys, man. Anybody can make a play out there.
Noah Brown, man. He's been a guy so far. And it'll be interesting to see how that changes when Michael Gallup comes back, because it might even make it better for him, because now you kind of defense has to worry about Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. That might open up some more doors for Noah Brown. It'll be interesting to see how they work that. But yeah, I think this is going to be a slugfest in one way or another. I just think that I have to ride with the momentum of the Giants. You know me, I love defense. I love running the ball. The Giants are doing both of those things exceptionally well so far in the first 2 games of the season.
That's facts. Definitely keeping us in it. And speaking on things looking a lot like last year, that's the one department that looks a lot different for the New York Giants, and that Saquon Barkley is not just back. He might be better than he was in 2018. We'll see if he can continue that for the rest of the season. Let's get this Manscaped read out the way, and then we'll talk about that. We got to do the trivia, too. Somebody's going to win a beautiful Eli Manning card tonight. I hope one of y'all Giants fans win, because you're going to get a beautiful card. Beautiful Eli Manning card. If not, if it's a Washington Commanders fan, we got a rookie Logan Thomas card as well. Let's get this Manscaped vibe out the way. Let's get some authentic vibes behind that too. You already know what it is. So, support for Awthentik and The Beard, the best division in football, is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
Bars.
My man. Manscaped's Performance Pack is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code AATB at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code AATB as an Authentic and a Beard at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right, you know what we need to do? We need to make a Manscaped transition. That's what we need to work on next.
Okay.
You know, like, yeah, but we can't, it got to be PG-13. Can't be showing no crazy. You know? So none of those vibes. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, man, somebody's going to win something over here real nice on Authentic and the Beard. So just sit tight, man. We'll be back here in a jiffy. I'm going to say for now, this is an overreaction. Buried him in the turf with his chin wrapped around his nostrils. He calls a timeout. Good wherewithal by Eli. Great wherewithal. Y'all know what it is, man. Check us out every Monday. The Giant Overreaction. That show has been a smash over here at Authentic and the Beard, man. Got 1,000 plus views on both of the last ones for week 1 and week 2. We'll be doing that. We're actually working on the schedule for that one because the Giants are going to be playing Monday night. Might do a Giant Overreaction right after the game. We'll see how that goes.
Instant overreaction.
Instant Giant Overreaction, man. I think that'll be pretty interesting. Especially depending on how that game goes. I'm hoping the Giants could definitely come out with a victory here. But definitely check us out, man. Every Monday, that show's normally Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And pull up, man, wear your blue. I know this week, Monday night, we all wearing white. I almost wore the wedding outfit on tonight's show. I was about to pull up, and I got a white bucket. I was going to wear a white bucket with the white polo joint, with the white pants. I was going to go all out, bro, with the white shoes and all that. But I'll say that for Sunday. I'll probably rock my Eli Manning jersey and, you know, keep the all-white vibes. Or, I'm sorry, on Monday, I'm going to keep the all-white vibes and whatnot. We'll see what we do. But let's do this trivia.
Before we do that, got to give a big shout-out to Vintage Sport Flips. Shout-out to my guy, Vintage Sports Flips. You guys definitely should check out his YouTube channel. I got an opportunity to meet this guy at the National Card Show in Atlantic City a couple months back. He had one of the dopest booths at National, all different types of like vintage and antique sporting memorabilia and apparel. He has a YouTube channel. He also does Whatnot sales. Says, love your channel, guys, and that's coming from a diehard Eagles fan, season ticket holder. Love the insights into the NFC Beast squads.
Ooh,
we
I like
appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, my brother.
Definitely, yo. Thank you for pulling up, man. We definitely appreciate that $10 super chat and appreciate your presence in the building, man. All right, Beard, you ready to give away some prizes?
Let's do it. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, is the first person that answers the question correctly that we see in our chat. It might look different than what you guys see in your chat. Definitely make sure you have it on live chat and not top chat. And if you are a Cowboys fan or Eagles fan, don't worry if you get the answer correct. I got you covered, okay?
He got you covered. Shout out to Over the Years Sports for sponsoring this section of giving away this prize for this trivia, man. We definitely appreciate that, brother. That's a great look for you. This is now the 3rd prize we're giving away already this year, man. Shout out to Max Webster, who won that awesome Tiki Barber card, and Lax 044, who won the Hakeem Nicks, man. Dope one as well. I really wanted that Hakeem Nicks. The Beard showed me like 4 or 5 cards this morning. I said, okay, hold me that one. We'll get this one away on the show tonight, man. So y'all know what it is, man. All right, so one of our lucky contestants in the chat is going to win a beautiful Eli Manning card or something else. We'll see how that goes. I'm crossing my fingers it's a Giants fan that wins this one because that card is so fire. Let's cue up them jazz flutes one time.
Jazz flutes.
Y'all know what it is over here at Authentic and the Beard. Beard,
Trivia
you ready?
Time. Yes, let's do it.
Chat, let me see some bicep emojis in the chat one time if you ready. I'm going to give y'all about a good 15 seconds to get y'all ish together.
Get your fingertips ready.
Get your Google fingers ready. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how y'all do. Y'all not just winging it off the top. Y'all hit
Look,
Google
nobody
heavy.
wants to type in the chat yet because they're all waiting.
They got the other tab open.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, I'm not reaching for the bicep emoji. I got my Google right on cue. All right. I'm going to take it that the chat is ready. They ain't show me no biceps like that yet.
Oh, there
okay,
they come.
Marjorie with the biceps. Shout out Ben Dawson
in.
with the biceps. What's up? Lucas with the biceps. Kai with them biceps. Chaz with the biceps. Salute. Y'all know what it is. I need like a countdown that says 20 seconds is going to answer it. You were going to ask the question and whatnot. Sank Zappa said he's too lazy to Google. All right. I love this question. The Beard told me, yo, we're giving something away. I said, I got the perfect trivia question for you. All right. I think we're ready to go here.
Let's do it.
Eli Manning threw a total of 366 touchdown passes in his career. Name the player who caught Eli Manning's final touchdown. Let me get this chat ready and see if one of y'all got this ready in the bag. You know what it is over here at Authentic and The Beard, man. Left side.
Strong side.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, the anticipation is building because I know it's just gonna start flying in the comments.
Oh yeah, you already know it's gonna be like, pff. Oh man. Okay, we got an early winner.
Early winner. Look at Kai. Shout out to Kai for trying, man. Big shout out to Kai.
Yeah, Kai out here trying. He definitely trying. So you this name starts with an S for you?
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad to see my guy win something here on the channel, too, because this person is a huge, huge supporter of Authentic and The Beard. We talked about him on last show, talking about if Daniel Jones is on this side of the end zone, my man is all the way on the other side of the field in the end zone, in the seat. No, he's up in the 400s on the other side. Big shout out to the homie Stan one time, man. He's going to win this beautiful Eli Manning card. Let me get my homie full screen one time here.
So this is an Eli Manning jersey card. Let me read it to you really fast. This enclosed, so there's a piece of jersey in this card, okay? So this enclosed piece of jersey was cut from an authentic jersey personally worn by Eli Manning in an official NFL game. The authentic game-worn jersey was obtained and guaranteed by Panini America, and this is also serial numbered 32 out of 299. So there's only 299 of these cards out there. And now you are the proud owner of one. Just send me your address on Twitter and I will get this. If you send it to me tonight, I can get it mailed out to you tomorrow. Congratulations, Stan.
Big shout out to Stan, man. Congratulations, man. I'm glad you won that, bro. My man, he be giving me nuggets before the show. He's at every show. He's active in the chat. Stan a mod. I don't got the YouTube chat up. Stan should be a mod for sure because he definitely been holding it down one time. But congratulations to you, Stan, man. That's awesome, man. Happy for you that you got that Eli Manning card. Don't have me shipping that one out the Beard. That might not make it to Stan. Keep it funky with you one time. But shout out Stan, man. He's got the W one time. All right, so we got one more game, man, to take care of here before we get up out of here on Authentic and The Beard. We appreciate all of y'all for pulling up, man, and rocking with us on this Week 3 preview show, man. NFC East matchups galore. Cannot wait for the weekend. I'm very excited that the Giants play on Monday night too. We get to watch y'all get the game out the way on Sunday. I believe it's at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
chilling. You know, Monday I'm gonna wake up.
That's gonna be a great. That's good. It's gonna be long though. It's gonna be long, especially if Washington wins. That's going to make it really, really interesting for the New York Giants because if the New York Giants win, they'll be 3-0 all by themselves on top of the NFC East.
Man, I really cannot wait, bro. I can't wait. I almost feel like we already 3-0. I see it. It's right there. It's right there, dog. We're 3-0. Y'all see it, right? Look. Right there, dog. Like, let's be real here, man. All right, let's get into this next game, man. Kickoff already started on this one. Don't nobody be telling me they scored no touchdowns, nothing crazy like that. I know y'all like to lie, get my fantasy
Amazon Prime need to go back to 820. They messing with Authentic and The Beard because
but I will say, for everyone watching on Amazon Prime, you can switch the camera angles live, bro. You can look at it from the top. You can look at it from the sideline. You can look at it from the game cameras. So I'm gonna be playing producer over there today when I'm looking at it. And you know I got my Amazon Prime account ready to go, man. But let's go ahead and get into this game, man. This one's gonna be the Steelers at the Browns tonight on Thursday Night Football. All right, man. Steelers traveling to Cleveland to take on them Browns with that new funny little logo they got. We're going to see how this one goes out tonight. Last week, the Steelers lost to the Patriots 17-14. Man, that was a surprise. I picked the Steelers because I feel like Mike Tomlin is like, you know how sometimes the quarterback is an extension of the coach? I feel like Mike Tomlin is an extension of the quarterback. It don't matter who you got at quarterback. Mike Tomlin gonna find a way. Very surprised they came out of that game last week with a loss. The Browns too, man. They were supposed to take care of business against them Jets, and they did not take care of business. Fourth quarter comeback by the Jets, man. End up winning that game 31-30. The Browns fall to 1-1. The Steelers fall to 1-1. Browns are favored by 4.5 according to FanDuel. And I don't know, man. I think the Browns got a really good shot at winning this game. You know I like to talk about identity, and the Browns definitely have their identity. It is Nick Chubb. He is number 2 in the NFL behind the best running back in football, Saquon Barkley. Y'all know what it is. He's got 228 yards, 3 touchdowns already. Got them all last game, and he's averaging 5 yards per carry. That's really amazing. The Cleveland Browns rushed for 401 yards in their first 2 games. I'd look to see a lot more of that, especially on a Thursday night matchup like this. This one should be a bit ugly. The one reason why I think I'm going to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers is Steelers coach Mike Tomlin is 24-5-1 against them Cleveland Browns, man. So I'm looking for him to go to 25-5-1 possibly in this game. Wanted to bring a little bit of attention to linebacker Miles Jack, the former Jacksonville
Jaguars. Yeah.
He is thriving in Pittsburgh right now. He signed a $16 million deal in free agency, tied a career high with 13 tackles last week against them New England Patriots. He's got his night cut out for him. He's going to have to try to stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. We know they're going to be running that ball all night long. No TJ Watt tonight, and this was a shocker stat for me right here. The Steelers have lost every game that TJ Watt has not been a part of since he's been a Pittsburgh Steeler. They 0-5 without TJ Watt in the lineup during his 6-year career. And Devin Bush was also limited early in the week with a foot injury, but he is expected to play. The Browns, they got some injuries as well. Jadeveon Clowney, he's going to be out, and that's huge, man. He was playing well. Myles Garrett was playing much better football when Jadeveon Clowney was on the field in that first half in that game against the Jets. So Myles Garrett, you're going to have to step up, man. You're going to probably see some more double teams. He's dealing with an injury in this game as well. He's coming in with a banged-up neck. Too many authentic beats in the headphones. Too much head nod. And man, he's got a sore neck. So we'll see how this one goes. I'm going to go ahead and just pick the Steelers in this one, man. I think it's going to be a pretty ugly game. The Steelers have not been able to find ways to put up a lot of points, but defensively they've been holding teams to too low scoring as well. I'm going with the Steelers in this one. I think it's going to be very similar to that Giants score against them Dallas Cowboys. In fact, I'm going to pick the exact same score. I'm going 20-17 Pittsburgh Steelers.
We are very close. Listen, I love Mike Tomlin. I think if you're a real football fan, there's nothing you can say bad about Mike Tomlin. You know, he's just that guy when it comes to being a head coach. It's tough for me to pick against them. Jacoby Brissett called a players-only meeting after that loss against the New York Jets. Nick Chubb came out and said, he took the blame for that loss by not going down and scoring that touchdown late in that game.
That's you don't know all that's going to transpire the way that it did. They were up 2 scores,
exactly.
Man, with like a minute 30 left in that game.
But to me, those two things, those speak volumes for the leadership totally. in that locker room. And Mitchell Trubisky, unfortunately, is Trubiskying, and he's 32nd in the National Football League in yards per an attempt. The Steelers are 25th in yards allowed, 22nd against the run. They're 21st in points scored and 30th in total yards. It just does not add up for me. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns. I don't know why, but I'm taking the Cleveland Browns based on those large sample, small sample stats. We're going to go with the final score of 21-16, Cleveland over Pittsburgh.
21-16, and I've got 20-17 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So somebody either going to catch up this week in these picks, somebody gonna fall way back, and I hope I'm not somebody, man. Y'all know what it is. So we're gonna get y'all up out of here, man, as early as we possibly can. We definitely appreciate everybody rocking with us, man, on today's preview for week 3. This was a good one. I think we're gonna have a little bit of micro content that we're gonna be able to chop up from this show a little bit and be able to put out a couple more videos this week. Keep your eyes peeled for the video I'm gonna be doing on Kenny Galladay. I might drop it late Monday night. If I'm feeling a little antsy, I might go ahead and just get to that. Y'all might see that video tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. But again, man, thank you for everybody rocking with us. Thank you for the new faces and everybody. Welcome to the family, man. We appreciate you pulling up. I believe that was Ben that was a new face. There was a couple other new faces out here, man. I can't remember y'all names off the top. But definitely much love to y'all. Y'all know how it is, how we end every show over here with Awthentik and The Beard. First, we got to let him get one of these left sides.
Strong side.
Y'all know what it is. The Beard represents that strong side, man. Keep raising that bar, y'all. Keep living those dreams. And I hope y'all do well in fantasy in this game. I got Deontay Johnson. I'm praying I do good. I need a bounce-back victory in my fantasy league, 1,000%, man.
Sunday, 11 a.m. Parlay. You can get all that goody.
Yeah, come check us out, man. Share your fantasy teams with us. Any advice you want, give us some advice on some of our squads, man. I don't claim to be some fantasy guru. I know a little something, but give me a little bit of advice. I've been having some wide receiver troubles. I've got a stacked wide receiver room, kind of opposite of my New York Giants. Pull up, give us some advice. That's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Enjoy y'all Thursday night football, man. Keep living those dreams. Keep raising that bar, man. We will see y'all on Sunday for the parlay at 11 a.m. Until then, y'all be good, man. Enjoy the rest of your nights. Peace.
Spike don't care.
Spike gonna lose on Monday.